If immortality was granted to 1 million individuals worldwide, what would be a fair selection process? I'd make sure they actually want to live forever first. Of course. We have to talk about the repercussions. The sun will burn out. You will be left on a frozen planet, or vaporized I guess. Dunno how that'll go. I would assume life forever means you are stuck there, cold and dark, forever. So the biggest assholes. It's a punishment. The sun will consume Earth eventually, so that might be unpleasant for a long time until it burns out, or hopefully we manage to get off planet before then, so you can hitch a ride off planet to a new one every so often. But again, long times of boredom and isolation between landfalls. Everyone thinks they would love that, but I wouldn't want to outlive literally everyone that I know and love over and over again forever. True, but on another hand you could find another immortal to connect with and be with literally forever lol. That's a very good point. You could have some interesting 1,000-year-long conversations. Can you actually imagine how it would be to spend an infinite amount of time with someone you love? I think at some point, people would get tired and bored of each other anyways, no matter how much they loved the other person. You have a million other immortals you can hang with, but after a few billion years I bet you'd hate every single one. So if you're young, do you physically age? No, you stay forever healthy, but for the sake of example, let's say you stay somewhere between 20 to 40 years old. Thank God. Cause I would be pissed if I got trapped as a 5-year-old forever. Randomly choose 500,000 people who each get a +1. That feeling when your parent chooses your sibling as their +1, and your other parent chooses the dog. Russian roulette. I'll take those odds. I'll go 7th. Reverse Russian roulette. Instead of 1 bullet, there's 5. The person who doesn't die is immortal. Imagine the first person surviving, while you are number 2. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Every rolling a d20 at once until there are only a million people left. Edit. Yeah, I kinda had a stroke. Someone pointed out that there's a chance that an insufficient number of people below 1 meter might roll a 20. In that case the ones with the he's numbers will roll. Everyone gets assigned a number and have the random number god handle the rest. Dibs on being random number god. Rock paper scissors, best out of 3. Then best out of 5 if you lose. Then best of 7. All sweet grandmothers, but only the sweetest of the sweet. And only ones who can make the best cookies lol, or any really good food. Highest ratio of good deeds to bad deeds. Wouldn't want 1 million awful people to be on the planet forever. Altruistic people FTW. Adaptability. The world changes dramatically over the course of a few decades. This would only be compounded over centuries and millennia. Think about all the old people who don't want to learn about computers or hold on to outdated prejudices. If you truly wanted to live forever, you would need to be able to not only accept, but embrace new situations, technologies, mindsets. It may actually be difficult to find 1 million people who truly have that kind of fluidity, while also being discerning. I think you're the first one that mentions adaptability. Makes sense. How would you test this? At random. Dispassionate. Fair to rich and poor alike. Really good kind parents, as determined by them, their grown kids, and others involved. As long as there are people, there are going to be kids who need somewhere safe. Let's get them some great eternal babysitters. Fuck, imagine being an eternal babysitter. Caring for these kids, watching them grow up and eventually die, and then repeating that cycle over and over again. That would destroy you. Reminds me of the Doctor Who quote, "If you live long enough, Lazarus, the only certainty left is that you'll end up alone." Your quote reminded me of a similar one. You either cite a hero, or live long enough to turn into a villain. 999,999 people and me. Username checks out. 999,999 ladies and me. Cyro UK looked over the valley and watched his 999,999 immortal ladies settle down. Little did he know, fate had set him up with 999,998 lesbians and his sister. Sounds like a good plot to a romantic comedy. You can say whatever you want, but we all know it would be money. Depending upon how it's being granted, money may not actually matter. Like, I doubt a god would care about earthly wealth. Only the smartest. How would you find out? You need the smartest for that. Something like divergence that test your different sociological skills. Can you describe one example of a test? Hot dog eating contest? Global Hunger Games. The last million standing are granted immortality because they've earned it. A test of mental stamina, 1 year complete isolation from all technology, 1 more year spent in a room with your least favorite person, and 1 more years after that spent living in the most impoverished conditions on earth. Only when all 3 have been completed will you deserve immortality. Are you from Volteklmfeo? Me. Also me. 999,998 spots left, folks. Good work, immortality friend. Also me, and then 999,997 hot chicks. People with important jobs such as doctors, nurses, various researchers, etc. that want to / enjoy working long term and want to live forever would rather have someone that enjoys working help contribute to society forever to help better it. I mean, doctor and nurses are useless in a world of immortals. I would first tell 1 million people I made them immortal, although I didn't, and then I would make other people immortal. Obviously the richest and most powerful 1 million people. They will then use their wealth and influence to improve the lives of others. I mean, like, why wouldn't they? 33% gifted minded, geniuses, artists and the like. 33% rich and powerful. 33% poor or stupid. A simple random selection. Turn it into a lottery. At least you'll get people that would like to be immortal, but not intelligent enough to cause much harm. People who have done something significant to mankind, like discover a new vaccine or solve world's biggest problems. Generally speaking, if they've done something that benefited our society. I can think of a lot of people who benefited mankind and have sadly pasted away. If those people were still alive, who knows? Perhaps they'd discover more than they originally had. Thanos snap. I say random selection every 1000 to 5000 years. Granted by extensive physiological and morality test, scientists, doctors and those with great leadership skills, who are determined to be at heart working for the greatest good of the humanity. There should also be some that will be designated as observers, who will serve as checks and balance. Some people will say it should be done by elections, but to be honest, I have very little faith with our current democracy. Either way, I think it would be a messy business. There's no guarantee that one will not become corrupted in their immortal life. Completely and totally random. That's the only way something like this could be fair. Blonde hair, blue eyes. First 1 million to like this comment. Those who mostly dedicated their lives for others, so they can finally enjoy themselves too. Create a virus. Last 1 million people to survive stay immortal. To be fair to rich and poor alike, people don't know if they are infected, like in Plague Incorporated, where you up the transmission so everyone gets infected, and put 0 symptoms so no one dies. You choose the 1 million worst people, because immortality sounds fucking awful. Choose 1 million of the top scientists in the fields of bioengineering and cellular robotics to try to get everyone else to become immortal. With everyone immortal, society would progress much faster, as we would have no need for developing new weapons and could focus solely on improving our existence instead of ending it. Only the best people who fear death the most. Super fucking obvious, not sure why you asked. Captain America trials. Put the candidates in boot camp and throw dummy grenades at them. The smartest and most talented people in their respective fields, maths, physics, music, art in general, architecture, and also that those people aren't only great in their field, but also as people, no douchebags or selfish people. Were you one of those nurses and doctors that risked your lives caring for people during the COVID-19 pandemic? Immortality for you. We need more people like you in the future. It should be random, because no one deserves it. People who stayed the fuck home during this pandemic.